Good. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for waiting. We apologize for the delay. We strongly apologize for that. Thank you so much for waiting, and your time will never be a waste. It will never be a waste of time. Thank you so much. Please, let's move to the matter of the day. Let's move to the matter of the day. Okay. My team has been handling everything in the group since you guys joined the group. Now, it's over to what? To PHlens now, to take up from where they stop. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much for sticking with us up to this time. And I know it's for the best, it's for the better, and your photography career will skyrocket to the next level. Trust me, I know what I'm saying. It's going to skyrocket to the next level. All right, a very quick one now. Please, if you can hear me, if the audio is clear, just send clear on the comment section, or you drop an emoji. If you know that you can hear me clear, sound and clear, please drop that on the comment section so that we know. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for waiting. Now, the shoot title is what? Shoot, from shoot to edit. From shoot to edit. We'll be covering everything from shoot to edit. And also, within today being the first day, second day, and the third day that we're having this class. One of these days, we might take a live section of a modeling shoot. So please just stick with us to the end of this class for these 3 days. All right. Now let's go over to a quick one. Why you should take this shoot to edit class seriously? Why you should take this shoot to edit class seriously? Now, based on World Bank projection, about 40.7% of Nigerians are estimated to live below the international poverty line by the end of 2024. So that means even if you have a white collar job or you have an office job, by the end of 2024, based on statistics, or the other policies of government and situations or the other, and it's estimated that 40.7% are meant to live what? Below international poverty what? Line by the end of 2024. So it is essential to brace yourself with necessary skills. And also, even if you have those skills, but yet you've not sharpened it, or you've not sharpened that skill, or you've not improved on it, I think it's a better time to do that now. It's a better time to do that now. Photography can take care of you, your family, and everything you so desire of. Now, through this shoot to edit class, you can learn how to accurately set your camera exposure, as well as discover the right way to manually set up a shoot. Now, I found out that most photographers, especially, I'm not calling out any kind of photographer's name, photographers, they shoot mostly on auto. Yeah, they shoot on auto or program mode. Yes, it's a fact. I know that some people will be in the section that says, yeah, I don't do that. Yes, it's true. Majority, I didn't say all. So if you're exempted, then it's fine and it's beautiful. Majority of church photographers shoot auto mode, or they shoot on what? Program mode. And you have the feeling that probably the exposure is coming out well. You have this feeling that you can take pictures. You can take pictures. You know how to take good pictures. Yes, you know how to take good pictures with the help of the camera brain, or with the help of the camera. But if you have to set this camera manually, can you really take those beautiful pictures? I normally know where the challenges of most photographers are, especially those of the church photographers. Most of us started in the church. Most photographers started in the church. Yeah, no doubt about it. So they might be good in the church, take good pictures. They might be good in the outdoor sections. Yeah, take outdoor sections. But when it comes to studio photography, most photographers find it difficult. Because there you have to play with more gadgets, you have to play with more equipment, you have to play with more light, and you have to play what? In the manual settings. Because if you're on the auto setting, probably shoot on a studio section, your camera will be setting exposure without it being aware of the external strobes or lighting. So when it comes to studio section or studio photography, most photographers find it difficult to flow in there, which is very simple. And that's why this class is here. It's going to help you for that. And it's going to help you beyond that. Trust me. Now, as a photographer, it is important that you take time to fully understand all about your camera and its various settings. Yes, most times once we are giving camera, every time we want to shoot. Sometimes just go browse about some camera settings. Browse about some camera settings and all that. About your camera, browse about the settings and all that. Please hold on. Let me just talk to my technical team. Please increase the light. In today's age, there's a lot behind a professional photo shoot. In today's age, look at this. In today's age, there's a lot behind a professional photo shoot, and the final result is an outcome of a lot of work that does not meet the eye. Yes. Your shoot does not start when you start clicking the shutter button. If as a photographer, to you feel that your shoot actually starts when you start clicking the shutter button, that is the point you started getting it wrong. Yeah. Your shoot actually starts when your client calls you on phone and tells you that they want to have a photo shoot. Probably their 50 years anniversary, 50 years birthday shoot, or 30 years marriage anniversary, and you start digging deep. What kind of outfit are you putting on? What's the theme of the photo shoot? What are the things that you want to reflect on that God has done for you in the past 50 years? That is where your shoot actually starts from. You start crafting mood board for that. You start crafting a mood for your client, how your client should feel during those periods. You start asking them about their likes and their don'ts. That is where your shoot actually starts. And from there, probably that is pre-shoot, and during the time for the shoot, and your clients are what? In the studio now. Your light setup and everything tells you a lot. Your light setup, yes, light setup is a big stuff. In my studio, I don't have a permanent position of light. In my studio, I don't have a permanent position of light. All my clients walks in and we've talked, they've changed, I've seen their outfit, I've asked 1 or 2 questions, how do they want their picture to be? Then I set up my lights. All my pictures on our Instagram page, our link to our Instagram page will be tagged to this, video. Have different mood, have different explanation, comes with a different feel. Yes. So you see that every photo shoot is not the same, and every photo shoot doesn't start with clicking the camera. It goes beyond that. It transcends even that to with your relationship with your client and all that. And take note also, I know that there are so many of us that are phone photographers in the group that are like, I create my own content with phone and all that. This podcast is for you. It is possible for you to move from phone to what? To shooting with camera. It is very possible. That is growth. That shows that you are moving forward. That shows that it's growth. And it is very possible. I know what I'm saying. It is very possible. You don't need to own a camera to start shooting with a camera. Yes. You don't need to own a camera to start shooting with a camera. All what you need to start shooting with a camera is the mindset that, yes, I want to start shooting with a camera. What is the way forward then? I repeat myself. You don't need to own a camera to start shooting with a camera. All what you need first is a mindset that, yes, at this point of my photography, I want to move from phone to what? To using what? Camera, digital camera to take my pictures. So this session is also for you, trust me. And I believe that after this session, you'll see reasons why you should start shooting with a camera. And yes, you will. And you'll give testimony back in the group. Now, let's move on to the next one. Now, this classroom, this shoot to edit classroom environment is going to bring out, is a classroom that is a kind of a competitive, where you tend to bring out the best of your works to the table, which is critiqued by what professionals. I'm not the only one. Like, I'm not the only one as the PHlens Studio, but we have other creatives too. So we're going to help you at the end of this section, of the 3-day section, on the 3rd day. We're going to help you, like you send some of your works, we'll give criticism about it, and we'll help you on 1 or 2 ways to improve that. And get this big. For our Port Harcourt, for our Port Harcourt audience here, there's something big for you. Yeah. I know that there are other audience. I know that there are other audience, other people watching us from different states in the country, and also in other states, in other West African states or other West African countries. Please, I still see you. I salute you. I greet you. Whatever I have for my Port Harcourt people, will also be what? Will also be accorded to you. Okay, let's proceed. Now let's go to common opportunities in the photography industry. The event photography, common opportunities in the photography industry. Now we're talking about event photography now. Now, event photography now, almost everything now wants to be documented. Unlike before, things that was documented back then was wedding and burial. But we find out that in recent times that everything wants to be documented. Birthday parties want to be documented. Everything wants to be documented. Now you've not seen that event photography is gaining more popularity, and it's gaining more popularity. Not just popularity, like it's gaining more relevance. Yes, it's gaining more relevance. What do I mean? It's gaining more relevance. So let's proceed forward now. Now you can now find out that speakers of events nowadays, they now go with their personal photographers. Speakers of today nowadays now go with their personal videographers. You can see that schools now doing doing their sports activities. They want video, they want coverage and all that. Only what it takes for you is only what it takes for you to start earning from this. Talk to yourself, tell yourself that yes, you're ready for this, that you're ready to start earning from this. Talk to yourself and tell yourself that yes, it is time for me to start earning from this. Like, you start thinking, start reasoning how you can start making proposals to you. Even the school around you, you start with the schools around you. Schools around you, you start writing proposals to them that you can do this, you can do that. See, you don't need to be perfect in it 100%. If you can do it 30% or 40%, take the deal. I repeat, if you can do it, if you are sure of yourself 30%, 40%, take that deal. It's not as hard as you think. Yes. It's not as hard as you think. Whatever you're going to learn from this class for the in this space of 3 days is enough to take deals. Whatever you're going to learn from this class in the next 3 days is enough to take some kind of deals that you start earning from. Now, let's go over to portraits. Another opportunities in the portrait and fashion world. Now, let me ask you this one now. That's your friend that is a fashion designer. That's your friend that sews. You don't see that now they are trying to look for a professional, they are trying to look for quality images. They'll ask their friend, please come and model for me. Let me take you some good pictures and all that. And you always, you want to be the model. What if you should be the one to take that money from your friends and, yeah. Okay, fine, model to they pay them. Model to they pay them very well. But you see that the fashion world now is gaining more, they are going in for more what? They are coming in for photography, for creating content and all that. The world today now is about media. As a photographer, as a videographer, you have a role to play. Your niche is growing bigger and bigger every day. So even for portraits, birthday portraits, Now everybody wants to celebrate birthday now. Even if you are not going to cut cake, but you just want to take picture and post on Instagram and Facebook, normal. You just say your friend will tell you say birthday na for where, na for online o, nothing will happen. Birthday na where online. So you know say that the photography world is even getting more relevance, and when people talk about in quote, people they still take picture or people they still go studio. I know there are people that talk about it like that. But you that is in the field, you know you know what is obtainable. You that is in the field, you know what is obtainable. Because the interest of birthday clients, I want to take picture, is gaining more. It's going more. Even if they won't cut cake, even if they won't drink pizza, even if they won't celebrate, but they want to take pictures and post. Now, in terms of product and commercials, if you have a friend, now anybody that's producing product will just want to have the good pictures of it. Anyone producing what product just want to have the good pictures of it. Have you thought of it? That's your friend that is producing tiger nuts, that have branded that tiger nut. She's looking for a good pictures of her products. Yeah, she's looking for a good pictures of her product, quality images of her product. That's why I said to you, even as a film photographer, you think of what growth, think of what moving higher. Yeah. Now, in the real estate, architectural photography and drone photography, you all know this. Real estate is, in fact, one of the big deals now is real estate. There is no rich man in this country and in this world that is not into real estate. Even the middle class are into real estate. So you know see that real estate is, you know see that photography in the real estate industry, in the architectural, is getting more popularity and all that. Now when it comes to documentary and streets, in fact, honestly speaking, if I have a way of going into streets and documentary, if not for the pressing needs of one or two things or other genres that we are focused on, streets is a very nice place to make it be. Do you know that Africa doesn't have images? If you search the image of New York, Bahamas, Oklahoma, Los Angeles, you see pictures of them. But when you come to search the pictures of Africa or a particular place, Lagos is trying. Yeah, Lagos is trying. But apart from Lagos, Abuja, other cities in the country, we don't have pictures. I don't want to call this photographer's name. It's a very popular one. If I should call him, if I should call his name here, all of you will know him. But I don't want to call. It's a popular one in Nigeria. Let me just give you an expo. It's not based in Nigeria. It's based in the UK. You should drop comment. I did not call anybody. Don't attack anybody there. I did not call anybody. There was a time we were looking for pictures of Port Harcourt. And the deal was, it was 3 pictures, 40k each. Kai. Nigeria doesn't have pictures. We don't have. If there's one thing I'm willing to do after this 3-day session, is to collaborate with you guys. Let's take pictures of Port Harcourt. Okay, fine. So others of my viewers, probably in other states of the country, my friends from Benin, my friends from Zimbabwe and other country watching us now. I'm sorry for this, but let me just feel home base Port Harcourt back. Let me talk to Port Harcourt photographers that are here presently. Okay, fine. The pictures that you will find now of Port Harcourt, you will find my one pack and my one flyover, those umbrella, and probably you get weak flyovers and all that. But when it comes to those swamps, when it comes to waterside, when it comes to those creeks and all that, we don't have pictures of all those places. Do you know how much those pictures cost? I just said that if a Nigerian UK-based photographer called me and requested for Port Harcourt pictures, and he was willing to pay 40,000 each on one of those pictures. Self-cover, I'm not printing it to snap, send them to him on WhatsApp. That's all. See, there is so much. There is so much. In fact, I tell people that all the skills you know, makeup. Oh, I'm not counting less of any of it. Please, I'm not. Please, I'm not. Makeup, fashion design, and all, and the rest, mechanic, gen repairs, this, that, blah, blah, blah. See, when it comes to photography, hey, photography is not just underrated, it's underestimated. Anything under that you know, that's what they did to photography. So we that came into the industry, I feel that we that is in the industry now, we are early birds. Yes, we are early birds. The industry itself is not really half saturated. It's not. We've not even come to the point of saying we are saturated. We shouldn't be hearing that. We are not. We just how do I explain this? How do I explain? Please, if you're following, just drop a comment section to motivate me, please. If you're following, can I get an emoji that you prefer to keep me going, please. Street photography is the real deal. Street photography, as I've said earlier, after this class I have to collaborate. The street of Port Harcourt, we can choose a particular place, old Port Harcourt township, choose Choba, just choose places like that and we work on it. Let's move over to the other opportunity. Stock photography. I don't think we are doing it. Is there any stock photography of black images? Those black images you see are black Americans. They are black Americans. Those stock images are not people of the Tiv or the Idomas or the Akwa Ibomites or the Yorubas. You can't see stock images like that on the net. Whereas these are areas that you can just like eat confidently from it. Eat confidently, like without stress from it. So those of you guys that hate events, that all these events, wedding, burial is stressing you people. Now when it comes to corporate and business photography, that one I can't emphasize that much now. Headshot. Look at that common, let me not use the word common. The god of photography, please forgive me. Look at how headshot is gaining popularity. I won't call the governor's name, but there was a governor, I think. There was a governor that I heard that his headshot was about 10 million naira. Just to take an headshot was about 10. No, that we know those kind of opportunities are rare. But when it comes to headshot is not cheap now. You're coming for a professional headshot. It's not cheap. No, now. Headshot is not cheap. Now you won't know how to charge for headshot. Now if we say headshot they cheap. Yes. Hey. See, in this industry, don't go with this. Also like this. In this industry, choose collaboration over competition. You will go far. Choose to collaborate over to compete. They normally say this about guys, that guys could just meet themselves. How far now? When guys want to beat the girls, they always say this. And guys could just meet themselves. How far now? Without knowing their names, but they've grown a relationship. Without knowing their names, like they've been in a relationship. Unlike girls that will be like they beef themselves. I don't know how true is this, but it's a kind of a random opinion. Let me just use it here. So this is what I'm saying now. In terms of those guys, it's like a collaboration. But in terms of the girls aspect, it's like competition. The same thing should happen should be in the photography industry. When you meet a photographer, you shouldn't be like, oh, which camera they use? Like, man say, it was even too tight. See, your first thing is like, your first thing is to destroy the perception in your head. No, you won't say that. All this don't be if you snap your picture tight, you good. You're trying to, at least once you see those charisma, don't talk down on the charisma. At least approach, exchange pleasantries first. Drop your differences. I know that you're coming from another media brand. You see the way you're like, shake hands, guy, how far? I was in Lagos in 2022. I was a Lagos-based photographer. Though I switched to Port Harcourt because of there's so much you have to learn. I can't start explaining all that now, but I feel and I choose I want to explain it, but not now because of the time. What I found out in Lagos is that it's kind of it's more of collaboration over competition. They collaborate so much. Yeah. Here in Port Harcourt, I don't know. Brand ambassador, they never bid, they never even give you. They never even give you one camera before make you review. But yeah, the pride and everything. Even the way they give camera for Lagos, make them review, so they even get that kind of pride. Yeah. Even brand industry like that. I used to tell Port Harcourt photographers before Sony, Canon, we come to Port Harcourt to say they are hosting shows. Since last Canon came, what year was it? Last year that Canon came, maybe early this year. How far now? Why did they not come again? Or as Canon come, why you come no year come? Or why Sony no year come? They will not come to Port Harcourt because of just one person. Until the community is thriving, that's when they will come. Until you that feel that you've known it, you are big, you've grown. Until you are ready to collaborate, raise up, work with others, that is when those big brands will come. And when they will come, they will not give it to those guys to bring. It's you that it will come to. A tree does not make a forest. If only you is good in Port Harcourt, if only you is good in River State, they can't come. So I'm talking to you in that your city, in the city you are, in different city. I greet my guys from Kaduna, I greet my guys from Kano, I greet my guys from Delta, I greet my guys from Edo, I greet my guys from Cross River, I greet all of you. But until you guys choose to collaborate in your different cities, that's when all these big brands will come to acknowledge you. And as I since I debated. And also we are still dwelling on the common opportunities in the photography industry. We also have fine arts. We also have fine arts and print for sales. Printing for sales, you know what it means. I just see photographers now. I see this one is common. You just see a photographer, you are leaving money on the table. In fact, you are pursuing money. You see some photographers like, hello client, they'll be talking to client and they'll be like, it's only soft copy now. Nowadays, they need print art, the won't carry hard copy do. Like when I hear this thing, I'm like, why? How? See, do you know that anything that we are using currently now in this life, currently now, we are being convinced to use it. It's not because we needed it. The basic thing that a man needs in this life to survive was given to us by God free of charge. Every other thing was the psychology of men to impose it on you that you need it. Every other thing you are using is the psychology of men imposing it on you that you need it. Yes. The only thing a man's need has been given to him free of charge by God. So I don't see a reason why a client will come to your studio to take picture, or fine, you're a freelance and you're talking to a client and you're just discussing about soft copies. You're not even opening your mouth to talk. In fact, if client wants to say, I will need 2 hard copy, you will say, what you want to carry hard copy do? You're just leaving money on the table like that. I believe that after this first session, we should have a rethink. That is money on the table. Tell them that, ma, please, this your picture, look at how beautiful is it. Have you noticed that some of those your pictures that you retouch, when you print it out on large format, do you know the kind of joy it gives you? Have you seen your pictures? Have you seen your pictures on large format? Have you printed your picture? Please, if not for anything, you know that it's not a client job. It's not client that asks you. That's your picture, that's your modeling shoot you did. Just print that headshot. Print at 20 by 30. Print bring 20 by 30 and see the beauty of that picture. So these are other aspects you can make money from your clients. You tell them, you ask them, you convince them to print pictures, and they pay for it. But yet you are the one telling them what do they want to use art copy for. And let's go back to the next one, myths and truths about editing and photography. I will talk about few. Then in our course of our learning and all that, we are going to talk about others. Yeah, maybe day 2, day 3, we're going to talk about others. Yeah, and I'm just going to talk about few and the popular one. You need an expensive camera to take a good photo. You don't need an expensive camera to take a good photo. Yes, I'm talking to you. You don't need an expensive camera. What you need a good source of light. You need light, not camera. That your camera is good enough. That your camera is good enough. If your camera is not good enough to take good photos, invest in light. When you have a shoot, rent your camera. Rent a camera, rather. You don't need an expensive camera to take a good photo. Let me streamline it down to studio. When it comes to studio photography, I think that studio photography is one aspect of photography that doesn't need much of big cameras, that doesn't need much of mirrorless. In fact, doing studio photography and shooting mirrorless, I don't see any need for that. Yeah. If you are doing studio photography and you're using a mirrorless camera, you are underusing that camera. Send that camera somewhere else and use a DSLR. Yes. Now, this for clients. For clients, they normally say photographer just point and shoot. I think I've explained that before. Photographers don't point and shoot. Photographers, right from the beginning, as long as your client calls you, that's where your shoot actually starts from. It's not about what point and shoot. You think you plan towards for your shoot and all that. Photography is easy. Yes, it's easy. No, it's not easy. For the sake of this class, yes, photography will be made easy. Photography will be made easy for the sake of this class. A good photographer never takes bad photo. A good photographer doesn't take bad photo. It's just like you saying you are reading the history of a great man. No. It's just like you seeing the success of a great man without you reading his history. Seeing where he fails. Seeing the challenges he went through. That is how it is. All what you see on Instagram pages are the best of the best. The bad photos don't come online. The bad photos doesn't come online. So photographers take a lot of bad photos and good one as well. Or can we put it this way? The difference between a good photographer and a bad photographer. A good photographer takes bad photos as well as a good photographer takes bad photos and also will take good photos. But a bad photographer only takes bad photos. I didn't say that too. The more expensive the gear, the better the photographer. In other words, they play. Yes, I said they play. Because I'm using R5, I'm using R6. I want to say this. As a phone photographer, yes, I'm talking to you too. Very soon after this class, we still need to start using what? A digital camera. Don't worry, just stay with us. Stay. Yeah, stay. Okay. I'm done with my slides. At this point, I'll just briefly say one or two about photography. I want to lay the foundation this evening about photography and retouching. Then by tomorrow, next tomorrow, we we fire that. I want to end this class by 9:30. If it is too much for you, please drop on the comment section that is too late. I want to end this class by 9:30. If you feel that you can't wait, or it has taken so much of your time, or you're no more interested, or you're getting bored, please let us know. Okay, fine, let's do it this way. The class by 9:30, give me a thumbs up. If you want the class by 9:30 is still okay for you, give me a thumbs up. But if you don't want the class to get up to 9:30, I should start summarizing. Give me a thumbs down on the comment section so we know. Alright. So let me hear from my team. What are we having? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up. Okay. Now let's go into photography now, what it means. Please, technical team help me. My light. Now, please, introduction. Please, I want you to stay with me. Stay with me now. My students in our previous boot camp, the understanding of this introduction makes the class simple for them. If you should understand this aspect of what I want to teach, I bet you photography is nothing to you. Photography is nothing to you. Please just stay with me. By 9:30 we'll be rounding up. Now, to appreciate photography, you're coming from the standpoint of art. This is my own quote. I copied it from nowhere. It's my understanding of photography bettered this quote out from me, from the inner me. If it is the eagle, we all know it's the eagle. Minister Disineyeka, respect daddy. If it is the eagle, out of the eagle, that's the one the eagle sings. That sing is right out from the spirit. So I got this quote from the inner me. I copied it from nowhere. To appreciate photography, you're standing at the standpoint of art. But to understand photography, you need to stand at the standpoint of science. Photography is science as well as art. Photography is what? Is science as well as what? Art. Photography is the study of light. Photo is what? Light. Graphy is what? Study. Let me break it down. Let's go back to secondary school. What is geography? Geography is the study of earth. Geo is what? Earth. Graphy is what? Study. What is biology? Biology is coming from two words, bio and what? Logy. Bio is what? Life. Logy is what? Logy is what? Study. I think so. Something like that. Logy is study. So what? Biography and biology is the study of life. Geography is the study of earth. Now, when you understand photography as the study of light, there's no image that you can ever create. When you understand photography as the study of light, there's no image you will never shoot. The beauty of an image lies in the shooting, not in the editing. If you shoot rightly, there's less you do on editing. That's that. Don't worry. We'll throw more lights on this. I'm ready to pour open. I'm tired of competition in the industry. I want to see collaboration. I want to be in Port Harcourt and somebody in Lagos is calling me. We are having a mega project. Probably we've seen a landscape in Ondo State that we need to shoot from that landscape. And we've gotten some beautiful maidens. The kind of maidens that will fit in are probably the maidens of Igala or the maidens of Idomas. So we see that collaboration, and probably we've gotten a makeup artist or a Moa that is ready to leave our this thing at Abuja to come. We pull resources, create images. Now the images we are creating, we are not creating for Nigeria. We are creating a global image. Yes, we are creating a global image. Nigeria has so much to do. Nigeria for creating, we have so much to cover. Our landscape has not been touched. Our landscape has not been covered. We only cover cities, we not cover the villages. Let me go. The way I'm feeling just now, it's just like, let me just go forward. Photography is the study of light. That's the standpoint of science. Now, if you want to define photography from the standpoint of art, you want to define photography, you probably say, I don't do two science. The art side no come dey enter again. Just hold on. Let me just this is art. Okay, photography in terms of art. Okay, photography in terms of art is the act of capturing images. You see how it sounds? Is the act of capturing images. Like there's no hand-to-hand leading in that definition. But when it comes to the aspect of science, is the study of light. Then there is a hand-to-hand leading, is the study of light. So what more do? I need to study light. That means I'll be what? A better photographer. But this other word is the capturing of images. Capturing is too vague, it's too big. So to appreciate photography, to appreciate it, you stand at the standpoint of art to appreciate it. But to understand it, you stand at the standpoint of what? Of science to understand photography. Let's move forward. Now, we move to exposure. Let's talk about exposure. What is exposure? Please get your writing materials. And I normally tell my students, like, I like using the professional terms. If you're working with me, probably as my student, you must learn and you must know the professional terms. If I should tell you that your image is not on focus, and probably you're expecting to hear your image no sharp, no, you won't hear it from my mouth. Yeah, you won't hear it from my mouth. Learn to use the professional terms so that when you go on global stage, why am I doing this? It's not because that I'm in love with their English or what. Because I feel that I'm seeing myself on the global stage tomorrow. Yeah, when you're talking to all those brands, you won't be using like the image no sharp or this. You learn to use the professional terms. Probably you're shooting on ISO 100, and you want to take it to ISO 400. Maybe raise your ISO up, raise them 2 times. No, it's wrong. Raise your ISO 2 stop. Raise it to a 2 stop. That's the professional terms you use. Why? Because you're seeing yourself in the global stage. You're seeing yourself as an educator. Now let's define some terms and all that. Don't worry. You are in for a ride. You are in for a ride. Trust me. These 3 days, your photography experience, your photography journey will skyrocket. Yeah, I'm serious about it. And we're going to take retouching. Trust us. We're going to take retouching. Now, exposure. Exposure is how bright or dark your image appears. Exposure is how bright or dark your image appears. Now, most photographers only use the word exposure when the image is overexposed. That's when they use the word exposure. But now look at the definition of exposure. Exposure is what? How bright or dark. How bright or dark your image appears. So even if your image is dark, is underexposed. If it's too bright, it's overexposed. And if it is okay, if the lighting situation is perfect and it's okay, it's correctly what? Exposed. Now from today, stop telling your colleagues or your client or whosoever that this image is too bright. It's wrong. Say it's overexposed. Stop telling the image too dark. It's wrong. It's underexposed. Just imagine you go to hospital and doctor tell you that na malaria dey do you, in quote. It will look too childish and simple. They need to use those big names. Or doctor tell you go and buy yellow and red and yellow capsule. It doesn't sound sweet, it doesn't sound mature. He will tell you go and buy tetracycline. They will tell you those big names. That's the sweetness of the profession. That's the sweetness of it. That's what gives things to your profession. That's what gives things to your career. That's what brings your career like to appear pleasant in the eyes of people. Now we've talked about exposure. Now we are in types of exposure. Under exposure, your image is dark or black. Dark or black. correct exposure, the lighting situations are excellent. Overexposed, the picture is too bright. Now let's move over to the exposure triangle. Just hold on. Now that's types of exposure. Now let's look at exposure triangle. Please, if you are still with us, please drop a comment. Please drop a comment that I should write on, or drop your best emoji. Please, if you're still with us, if you're still with me, please drop an emoji. If you can hear me, drop an emoji. If I'm talking sense, drop an emoji. If you want this class to continue tomorrow, drop an emoji or drop a comment in the comment section. Your comment is what keeps me going. Your emoji is what keeps me going. That is the fuel I need this evening, or I need this night. You know, I would have been sleeping by now, or I would have been editing. No, not sleeping, editing. Now let's move on to what? Exposure triangle. Now, what is exposure triangle? Exposure triangle shows the relationship between the parameters of what? Between the exposure parameters. Exposure triangle shows the relationship between what? The exposure parameters. Stay with me. This is what you know, but in a more refined way. This is photography education. Yes, I'm bringing to you photography education. Exposure triangle shows the relationship between what? The exposure what parameters. Now, what are exposure parameters? You have the aperture, you have the ISO, and you have the shutter speed. Now, most of us in this group. Now, the beginners, do we have beginners in the group? If we have beginners, like totally, you're brand new, you are new to photography. In fact, this is like the first class. This is the first official class on photography. Please drop an emoji, because this is a beginner-friendly class. In fact, this class is for this is a beginner-friendly class. Please drop an emoji if I have a beginner in the class. Now, I want to ask a quick question. Now, that means there is no emoji, there is no beginners. But there's no beginners. Fine. You've been hearing about aperture, you've been hearing about ISO, and you've been hearing about shutter speed. Now, do you know that these three things, they have their place in the camera? For some people who hold on to do photography here over the years, I want to ask a question. Let me know the person that will get it now. The shutter of the camera. Okay, before I go over, let me start with this. This is not a camera. This also is not a camera. This is a camera body. This is a camera lens. You put them together, you have a digital camera. So when I see people saying you have this as a camera, you don't have a camera. What you have is a camera body. If you have this, you don't have a camera. What you have is a camera lens. When you put this together, then you have a what? A camera there. Now, the question, I'm not going to the question though. Now, to most of us have been doing photography for quite some time. On these two parts of the camera body and camera lens, where is the aperture of the camera? Where is the shutter of the camera? Where is the ISO of the camera? Let's answer, please. Drop your comments. Drop your comment, please. Where is the aperture? Let me view some comments too. PHlens is like me. I'm not having network. I'm not seeing their comments. Is there any comment there on the question I asked? No answer. You don't want to answer. Where is the aperture on the camera? Is it on the camera body or is it on the camera lens? See, when you know all these things, it will be very simple for you. I normally tell people, see, understand the theory. In quote, this is what photographer they do that annoys me. They'll be like, maybe to know when you enter field, you go fit snap, maybe cho. My dear, sit down. You don't know theory, go and sit down, go and learn about it. When you're going on a global stage, you want to be shooting camera till 50 years or till this thing. When you're going on a global stage, they ask you, come and educate, come and talk about this. How do you see yourself in photography in the next 10 years? Have you seen yourself in a global stage where you'll be teaching photography? Have you seen yourself owning an academy? Have you seen yourself with brands, different brands, teaching, talking about this thing? And you'll be like, you'll be telling brands, you'll be telling Sony, you'll be telling Canon, you'll be telling Fuji, or you'll be telling Nikon. Don't be cho, me na to snap, marry my own. Nobody they come to talk about all this theory. My dear, you need this theory. You need it. You need it. Your better understanding of theoretical aspect of photography education is not the practical, is the walk away. I'm the one telling you. I'm the one telling you. Now, for that question, your aperture is on the lens of the camera, on the camera lens. Aperture is not on the camera body. If you have a digital camera, try it and see. On your camera, remove the camera lens. You see the aperture number on your camera is going to disappear. So that shows you that your aperture is where? On the camera lens. It's not on the where? Camera body. Now let's move on to the next one. What is aperture? What is what? Aperture. Aperture is the opening and the closing of the iris of the lens. Work with me, stay with me. Stay with me. Please, if at this point you haven't still gotten your book and Bible, please do. I'll be summarizing this thing today, so I might be very fast. This is already 9:19, so I have about the next 11 minutes to summarize or to round up. So I'll be very fast. Right? Watch this video. Drop your questions. We'll attend to it. Now, what is aperture? Aperture is the opening and closing of the iris of the lens. 1. And we also stated that aperture is located on the where? Camera lens. 2. And now 3. Aperture is measured in what? F-stop. Yes. Aperture is measured in f-stop. They are units. When you're in secondary school, those science students, we all know the units of measurement of length, you know the unit of measurement of velocity, acceleration, and the rest. I was a science student. Gigi to all science students out there. So we all know when you say units, it's a kind of what? Measurements. They are measurement units. So aperture is located on the lens, we said that, and aperture is measured in what? In f-stop. Now, we want to stay on aperture because aperture is kind of bulky. Is bulky. Okay. Help me out. Among all these, aperture confuses photographers a lot, most of the time. A lot. Most of the time, a lot more than the other two parameters, the ISO and the shutter. So we said earlier, aperture is the opening and closing of the iris of the lens. Now, on your digital camera, this is a Canon 5D. This is a Canon 5D Mark III. All right. Shika Odemena. Sorry if I didn't get the name. If I didn't pronounce the name correctly. Aperture is on the lens, is like the eye. Is like the eye. Same as, is that a question? Okay, it's a kind of a contribution. Yeah. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. All right. I can see you guys are motivating me big time. So let's proceed forward. Now let's get this now. Get your writing pen now. Want to look at how aperture is measuring. Now we'll be using a prime lens now, for example. Now having a prime lens, that's why, okay, Tim, can we get this can we get, let's read lens, let's read this lens now. Care for the camera. It's not good for your sensor to always be exposed. When you detach your lens from your camera, always face it down, or use the camera body cap to cover it for safety. Now if you should look at the body of your lens now, there's a point you see. This is a prime lens. What are prime lens? Prime lens does not zoom. Then the ones that zoom is what? Zoom lenses. But prime lenses does not what? Zoom. That's one features of prime lens. And another features of prime lens, they have one focal length. They have what? One focal length, which is what? This 50 mm you're seeing here. But lenses that are not prime, you will see more than one focal length. You might see 24 to 70. You might see 18 to so number, 18 to 55. When you see those two numbers and probably you see mm attached to it, then you know that those are what? Zoom lenses. But prime lenses only have one focal length. Now I don't know, Tim, is this number showing? Are they seeing it? Are they seeing? They are not seeing it. Oh, I will take a screenshot of this and send to the group. I'll take a snapshot of this and send to the group. I think I don't need to do it now. I'll do it later after the class. 50 mm. Then after that you see 1.4. Now that number you see on your lens, 1.4, 1.8 or 2, or any number you see first, they are trying to tell you that that is the least, that is the what? Least aperture your lens can get to. It's getting more technical now. Just stay with me. Stay with me. It's getting more technical now. Stay with me. That's 1.4 you're seeing for prime lenses is the least aperture your lens can get to. There are some prime lenses you see 1.8. There are some prime lenses you see 2.0. There are some prime lenses you see 4.0. Now for this lens, this is a sigma lens, a 50 mm 1.4. This is a sigma lens, a 50 mm 1.4. One thing you need to know about prime lenses, they have a fixed focal length, only one focal length, and also they have a fixed what? Aperture. They have a fixed focal length and also they have a what? A fixed what? Aperture. Now write it somewhere. Another thing you need to know about zoom lenses, they have a fixed, they might have a fixed focal length, no sorry, they might have a fixed aperture or they might have a variable what? Aperture. They might have a fixed aperture or they might have a what? A variable what? Aperture. That is, a fixed aperture, it could be just 1.4, telling you that the least opening this lens can do is what? 1.4. That's the least it can get to. Or if it is 4, they will tell you that the least this lens can get to is what? Is 4. It's as simple as that. But when the aperture is variable, maybe it's 3.5 to 5.6. When you see aperture like that, it's variable, 3.5 to 5.6. Now what are they telling you? What are they telling you? They are trying to tell you that, because that's a zoom lens, remember, in zoom lens you see variable apertures like that. They are trying to tell you that at the lower zoom, now I get this now correctly, maybe on a zoom lens you see 3.5 to 5.6, and now the focal length of that zoom lens is 24 to 70, for example. Now what are they telling you? What is those initial representing? It's telling you that at 24 mm, at 24 mm, the least it can open is what? Is 3.5. Then at 70 mm, the least it can open to is 5.6. That means at 70 mm, your camera lens can't open to what? 5.6. I mean, can't open to 3.5. If you have a question, please drop any question before I continue. Please drop any question if you have. Any question? I'm waiting. Okay. So no question. So we'll proceed now. So remember, we are talking about zoom lenses. Zoom lenses with what? With variable what? Aperture. We are taking to consideration, for example, 24 mm zoom lens to 70 mm zoom lens, and probably this lens, if it has a variable aperture and you see something like 3.5 to 5.6, what is simply telling you is that at 24 mm, the least the aperture can get to is 3.5. At 70 mm, the least the aperture can get to is 5.6. That means at 70 mm, you can't get an aperture value of 3.5. It's as simple as that. But now this same zoom lens 24 to 70, if you get another version that is what? A fixed aperture, probably the aperture is what? 4. For example, the aperture is 4. What is it telling you? It's telling you that 24 mm you can be at 4. At 70 mm you can still be at what? At 4. Oh, I've been able to explain zoom lenses having fixed aperture and having variable what? Aperture. Zoom lens is having what? Fixed aperture and having variable aperture. Now with this explanation, you can now know which one you can go for. But mind you, zoom lenses with fixed aperture are quite expensive to that same version of variable what? Aperture. So now we've been able to state that aperture is what? The opening and closing of the iris of the lens, 1. We've been able to state that aperture is measured in what? F-stop, 2. And we also said that aperture is located on this lens, 3. And we've also stated that we've been able to read the aperture value of the lens, and be able to explain that variable aperture and what? Fixed aperture. Now let's proceed further. We're going to close with aperture. This is almost 9:30. I'm almost rounding up. We're almost rounding up. Let me just finish aperture. As I said earlier, aperture is the bulky one. ISO and shutter speed will be a walk away by tomorrow. Now aperture is measured in what? I've stated that. Now let's proceed further. Now considering this 50 mm that has an aperture of 1.4. Now from 1.4 you might have the next aperture value 1.6, 1.8, you have 2, you have 2.2, you have 2.4, you have 3, you have that's how it moves. To photographers in there that is aware of this, you can scroll through your camera to see all those values. Now take note, the smaller the number, the smaller the aperture number, the bigger the O of the aperture. Like when you turn your aperture dial, now turn your aperture dial now, if your camera is there, when you're turning your aperture dial on the camera body, look into your lens, you will notice that there's a hole in your camera that is opening and closing. The hole in your camera is what? Opening and what? And closing. Take note now, the smaller the number, the bigger the hole. When the number is small, maybe at 1.4, the hole will be big. When it gets to 2, the hole will be getting smaller. When it gets to 3, smaller. 4, smaller. 5, smaller. 6, smaller. Till it gets to 22. 22 is the least, is the highest. When it gets to 22, the hole will now become more tiny. It now become what? More what? Tiny. Take that, write it down. Now, the bigger the number, the smaller the opening. Just the vice versa of what we said before. Is that clear? So now, this is it now. When the hole is big, what it simply tells you is that more light is coming in, right? More light is what? coming into your camera when the hole is big, and which is what? A smaller what? Number. So for you to allow more light into your camera, you need to open the hole, and that means you need to move your guy to the smaller what? Number. It's as simple as that, and vice versa. Any question you have, drop it on the group on WhatsApp. We'll attend to all. So at this point and at this juncture, before we call it a day, do we have any question? Do we have any question? Please drop your question on this comment section, please. On YouTube comment section, not on this WhatsApp group. Not on our WhatsApp group, please. Because the WhatsApp group will still be safeguarded by my hard-working team, my indefatigable team. So it will still be safeguarded there. Please drop any question here on the comment section. Baba choose comedy. Aperture is measured in f-stop. Benson Donald, I got you. Yeah, beginner, yes, I got you. Aperture is measured in f-stop. Okay, thus far, is my explanation clear? Did you get anything from it? Please, technical team, did you get anything from it? Oh, my explanation is clear. Alright. So now, so that's that for that. Tomorrow we'll be starting with shutter speed and ISO, and we proceed into retouching. It was because of the time, sorry for the delay, over 20 minutes behind schedule. Sorry for that. This is the first day, and I believe that my team has taken note of that, and we'll avoid that by tomorrow. Thank you so much for waiting for us and sticking behind us and all that. Trust me, after this video, your photography game, your retouching game, you're all going to change for good. Trust me, you're all going to change for good. Thank you for staying with us up to this point. This is almost 10. This is to 10 already. I know some of us will be like, let's continue the class. And should we continue? Drop a comment section, let me know if we should continue the class. Drop a comment section, please. Let's know if we should continue this class. Let's call it a day. See you tomorrow. Same time. Okay, please, I want to beg of you. I want to beg, please. I can go on my knees now to beg of you. Please subscribe. Click on the notification button. Please like this video. Hope I've not insulted anybody. If there's a photographer that does not know theory, hope I'm not insulting. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please comment, like, subscribe, and share. Share this video. See, do you know that currently now this video now share to that beginner. Maybe you're in church and there's this guy, this young kid that have been following you. Uncle, teach me photography. Uncle, I want to learn photography. All what you will take from me is your data. Just 1 gig data. Just put it on your phone. Give him. See, you can see that it's basic. I treated it very basic. Just bless the boy life with this photography education. Please. John Marcos 1.4. Like my question is for prime lens. Which one is okay? I think the other question. Olamide Ola Kami. My camera is Canon D111 1100 or 1100. It's not about your camera. It's about you and the light. What did you say? Photography is not the study, it's not having big camera. Photography is the what? Is the study of light. It's about your understanding of light. You will achieve great results with this. Just stay with us. Stay with us. John Mark 1.4. Like my question is for the prime lens. Yes, this prime lens is 1.4. they wrote it on the body 1.4. Once you see that value 1.4, it tells you that this prime lens is what has an aperture of what 1.4. What it simply means is that that is the least it can go. It cannot go beyond 1.4. It cannot get to 1.2, but it can go. You can increase the aperture value from 1.4 to 8, 11 till you get to 22. Now, most of your prime lenses are 1.8. When you see prime lenses of 1.4, the lower your aperture number can go, the more expensive the lens. If you can see, once the thing moves from 1.8 to 1.4, 1.4 is more expensive than what 1.8. Once you see 1.2, 1.2 is more expensive than what 1.4. Oh, but John Mark, is my question, this thing clear? Is my explanation clear? Fubara Splendor, I greet you. Tomorrow we will not start late. What I'm supposed to do today, I didn't do it. I will do it tomorrow. I will take introduction. I will greet you by your names tomorrow. There was something I wanted to do. I want to make some was it criticism, maybe some, just to make some contributions of your pictures, your comments you did on the group. I so much loved it. Though I didn't comment, my team hold them responsible. They seized my phone. They said I shouldn't comment. They said I shouldn't do anything. So I was unable to comment. So those people, so they held my phone. So that is it. So I will greet you specially, and there are some things I need to talk about your bio and the pictures. I so much love some of you guys' pictures. Some of you are big time fan of color grading. I'm a big fan of you too. All right. So at this point, Olamide, my lens is 18 to 135. That's a zoom lens. Now, what's the aperture of your lens? 18 to 135. 18 to 135. What's the aperture there? 18 to 135. You see two value of aperture there from maybe 3.5 to 5.6. Shika. Yeah. Me too. I'm grateful you are in attendance. You are in attendance. I'm grateful you're in attendance. I'm grateful you're in attendance. Every question you have, we are calling it a day. Any question you have, we will attend to it. And at this point, my head of marketing team will be talking to you guys shortly. So just stay tuned. In the next 30 seconds to 60 seconds will be done. Thank you from your host, Mr. PHlens.
So guys, I trust you had an amazing time here. I mean, if you didn't get everything, just get that. It's really not your camera, it's your light. So if you've been thinking that, you don't have the best camera, you don't have what it takes to be a good photographer, then maybe it's just the light you have. So consider that. My name is Dave. I'm the head of marketing for PHlens Studios, and I'm sure you've had an amazing time here. So I want to say a few stuff, just like I've been saying on the group. Number one, be sure to connect with other photographers. Be sure to be open to collaboration. One of the things I got from this training is that collaboration is much more important as opposed to competition. And then I got one of the illustrations the boss made was, that with that of the camera body and the lens. You could see that the lens could not do alone without the camera body. Likewise, the camera body alone without the lens. So you see that the both of them work purposely to make it a camera. And so that's where I think you need to take out from. As a photographer, you can't take out, or you can't be perfect without collaboration. So you sure have to, collaborate with people. So to wrap it up, please be sure to follow us on Instagram at PHlens Studio Academy page, which is a major sponsor for this webinar. PHlens Academy 001 and follow us on Facebook PHlens Studio. Be sure to subscribe. Come on now, subscribe to this channel because we're going to be bringing amazing content. I'm sure you had an amazing time. I'm sure you jotted down. For you that were sleeping, don't do that again. Tomorrow's class is going to be amazing. Be sure to share, be sure to comment,